reminisce.
Thank you, Rich. Kind words, my man Ace. The proud owner of a career high for assists in a game. Did you think you were gonna get 20? Is that like
Nah.
you had 15 through 3, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. I knew the fourth I had to shoot a little bit more. We had to score a little bit more. So yeah, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So looking at your numbers, we had 29.9 points a game. You missed 30 by 7 points. You missed becoming the third member to 50, 40, 90 twice by 5 threes. So it is kind of crazy to me, like mid-game. I don't know. It's not sitting on your brain. But you didn't go, yo, I got to get 30 tonight. I got to get my number. You just played the game. You guys needed to win, too.
Yeah, I took enough shots to get 30.
Yeah. You know what you needed, for the record? 27 in that game.
Yeah.
27.
I
To win it?
got 27.
27, he would have got 30 points a game, yeah,
This matters, though. You care.
to me.
No, man. It would have been cool to look at it and see 30, but just keep adding up, baby. That's all I feel. Just keep adding them up.
This
Keep
is your
adding them up.
highest total since your MVP season. Your highest assist total of your career, 6.4.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like with this season? Looking like a grade is the most cliche thing ever. Like, what do you? I want to know you too, because you've watched like all of them. So
You go first, Kevin.
How did I feel this year?
yeah, like where does this rank or whatever?
I don't know where. I'm not sure where it ranks, but I felt like my indicators are like if I shot the ball with good touch.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had a lot of swishes this year, you know. I felt like my jump shot looked good and I was moving well on both ends. So yeah, it was up there. I mean, the passes I was making this year felt good. Felt like the game was slowing down. It was a fun season, man. It's hard to rank them against other years because I've had so many years now in the league that
Yeah.
they all mean something different to me now. But this was a fun year to play, especially with the injury coming back and trying to figure out the rhythm of the team. And you know, it was fun to go through.
What about you, Rich? From your seat, both, I guess the experience of the season and then his performance as well.
Yeah. From performance, this is how I think about it. You know, when I was a kid, when Michael Jordan had the ball at the end of a game, like if the Knicks went up by a point with 13 seconds left, he was like, we done. You know what I'm saying? Or like when you give the ball back to a quarterback with a little too much time on the clock because you've seen it and you can see how easily they see the field and how easily when the pressure's on, they can take it down the field for a chance. That's all it's in someone else's hands. It feels like for the first time when I watch him play, like this level of, oh, he's going to get to wherever he's got to get to in the court and like he's going to be in the right place and he's going to hit the shot. And that's from a fan's like vantage point. I'm looking at it. This level that, like I said to him once, this level that like as a fan, you hold certain athletes where you just know like, shit, they're going to come through or like, shit, this is what they do. And then you see it for 15 years. And that's when people get to that like next status. So for me, staying healthy and then seeing that, from that standpoint, it was a success. Obviously, circumstances for everybody were unique. So
I was seeing, because guys had exit meetings today in the league, and somebody asked, I guess it was a Lakers player, like, oh, it was LeBron. It's like, is this season a failure? And he was like, nah, we actually came in and went to work every day. And I was like, that statement stood out to me because I was like, yo, that actually make a lot of sense because, I mean, obviously the championship is the most important thing, but like you actually logged in another year of playing in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? You added to whatever stats you had already put into the league before. So it's like, that was a good mindset to have. You know what I'm saying? Just like to the core of it, like, yo,
that probably shocked people too.
I committed another season into the grind, and that shit means that's a championship to a lot of people.
People hate when he says shit like that.
Yeah, but it should actually show you how much it actually means.
Yeah.
From someone like
Yeah.
you, right?
It's
You
like
know?
easy now. We're taking it for granted because NBA is just always here for us as fans. Like
Yep.
you get it at all angles all year, from free agency to summer league to draft to the season to playoffs. It's like sometimes you take this shit for granted and realize like, yo, these dudes put in another year to grind. Like now, Bron is about to enter his 20th year in the league. It's like, yo, your 19th year was special, even though
Totally.
your team didn't play
Totally.
well. You know what I'm saying?
And each one is like, do you think that that's a perspective shift that athletes have in general, where it's not that he wanted to win less, but you have to look at it different?
Yes, I just think that works better for you individually if you look at it that way. I mean, after the season's over.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah.
As if like, well, we didn't win, but I still put in the work.
Yeah.
You know, to become a I told somebody the other day, like I feel like being a champion like isn't a work that you do every day. Your team might not end up getting there, but you never know when that grind gonna pay off.
We talked about this before, right, guys? Like the real life perspective of this versus like the sports talk. Like you have the championship's the only success. But I wonder with you, Rich, like being involved with the sport as long as you have, when did that kind of, because we're diehards. Like I'm watching the Raiders like, yo, you gotta win, you know, but being involved in it, at some point that clicked for you too? Like, yo, there's other successes within this, like real life shit going on?
From within sports or just in life?
Both.
In sports, it was definitely, I think in general, when I started working in sports, it was the biggest awakening of what I already kind of knew, right? I had friends that were athletes. I had known Kevin a little bit. But when I really realized that people didn't, like the myth was over of what I wanted it to be when I was younger. Like, damn, you're not at home.
Pulling
like
the curtains back.
Yeah, you're not listening to sad music at home, like drinking your sorrows. Shit. I was like, my football team lost a game on a Sunday. I really didn't read the newspaper till like the next Friday. And when like the Knicks lost in a playoff, I was sick.
Yeah.
And obviously I react more now to like that reaction about the Giants is a mature one, but I read the paper all week, right? So for me as a fan in real life, I don't think that I changed necessarily because I saw it, but it happened around the same time where it was like, all right, cool. Like I am a diehard fan, but shit, I can't take it this seriously. And I see these like Kevin at the highest level with the most like intense drive to win as much as anybody.
Right.
You have to have, I would imagine, that balance no matter who you are. Maybe Tom Brady like has had that has a competitive drive
that doesn't turn off.
Maybe Mike did.
What do you mean turn off? Like you always thinking about competing even in the off season, even when you're not playing and shit?
Yeah, well,
like, what do you mean?
Well, because what's the thing you hear? Like, who said something to me about, Pat Riley? Pat Riley. I asked him about Mike the other day when I met him in Miami, and it was consistent with what you see on shows or docs or what other people say, like, this man wanted to win at everything, right? And when you first heard it, it was like, yeah, so do I.
Right, don't you feel like that isn't that like sensationalized a bit? Like, he's just want to win at everything. Like,
no.
Just that competitive drive that's been like marketed to the masses from athletes.
You've never had a competitive friend in your life.
Is that really competition?
No, but like a friend that you feel the competition. You feel it. Like you could feel it, and you feel it with everything you're doing.
I had friends that just always want to win and beat you at something so they can feel good about themselves. Is that competition?
Yeah. So if you're like that all the fucking time and you're Michael Jordan and those things align, where like if you asked Mike after year 19, would he answer that question in year 19? That LeBron did?
Yeah, if his team didn't make the playoffs, he would.
You think Mike felt the Wizard years were a success?
I wouldn't say I didn't think Bron said it was a success.
No, but he had a perspective. You think Mike would say, look, I got through the year, I'm older, We did the best we could. I came to work every day.
Yeah, I think he would say that they was missed the playoff.
Look at us, a Mike and Brian.
He did miss the
combo on
playoffs.
accident.
And then he got out.
Or he probably didn't even have an exit meeting.
He definitely did not have an exit.
I just think that perspective. Like I think you can turn it on and off. Like you obviously want to win every possession you out there, but like after it's over, looking back on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying while you in the moment, like oh fuck
No,
it, man.
but
I'm just love playing. Like it's cool. I'm just another year. I'm saying, but when the season's over, when you look back on it, I think that's a good perspective.
Oh no, so let me correct that though, because I don't think that makes Mike better. I don't think that quality is what should be used when people want to recklessly compare.
I don't believe that's a quality anymore.
No, but I was referencing it into like who really goes home and listens to music and is sick over
Just drowns
losing.
out
I think maybe Mike was like that a little bit.
I think we all are, bro.
But to different levels?
No, I feel like it's about when do you let it go, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of us athletes are fucked up after a tough
everybody's
loss.
in the locker room.
Yeah,
pissed.
when they go home, dudes are like can't sleep after a bad loss. Like guys that didn't even play a lot of minutes. Like if we lose at the buzzer or we had a game, we let it slip away. Like these dudes care about it, but like it's about all right, when you gonna move on and let it go. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think everybody, and if that's what you want to call being competitive, like actually thinking about it when you leave work, then
But you think Mike held on to it a few days longer than most?
I don't believe so. I mean, because he probably had a game in the next day. I think Mike moved on pretty quickly. That's why he was so great.
When did you develop this?
I mean, we all
Were you sitting on the Seattle losses like,
Nah,
I hate this?
Nah, it's usually that next day when you go into practice, you let it go. You watch film, move on.
Well, hold
to the
on.
next
Did you
opponent.
guys? He didn't look like he let it go watching that iPod. That iPod in Last Dance.
That's what you mean. Like you still like those emotions still come back when you.
No, but but that's
when
a
you
bad
relive
example. That's
that
a bad
moment.
example because, like, that would happen to anyone that's reliving it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's different. That's different.
I mean,
But
like,
competitive fire. Like what does that really mean?
well, I mean, like a story I'll tell. Game 7 last year, I left the I was mad leaving the arena, and I remember like I FaceTimed him as I got home, and you weren't like happy you lost, but you were like you were on into your night at that point, like you know. And I there's a usher at the arena, and she was like, "Man, my son's a big fan, and I was kind of worried, and he he took the picture, he was nice to him, all that, after the game." So it's like. It's shit like that puts it in perspective for me. And that had been happening for a while. Like, as I got closer and closer to sports, I'm like, yo, I'm still mad about the Raiders losing to the Bengals on an interception. But, like, I'm like, yo, that's, like, got to be the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to develop that. And I wonder, like, with you guys, like, as long as it's been going on, like,
I mean,
it's tough.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but when you got games that, games come every other day. It's like you learn the practice of like getting over shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like understanding the importance of it, what just happened, but moving on pretty fast. And I think that's just a good life lesson in general.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't hold on for stuff too long, especially like you get in our game, you get game over at 10:30. Practice the next day, you're gonna get up at 8 o'clock. Like you're gonna sleep for most of that time. So it's like you got a couple of hours to really digest what just happened and before you try to, get ready for the next one. So you learn that pretty early.
Do you feel like this real world perspective on sports is new? I feel like it coincides with social media. We see everything, we watch everything.
Yeah.
Do y'all feel like that's new? Because
Yeah.
we grew up on Mike going, yo, Mike is still mad because he lost that Raptors game and they could have been 73-9 or whatever.
Yeah.
4 years later.
I guess that side of it has probably been eliminated, that like fantasy. Maybe that's what it was too, right? Is that like
fantasy. That's a
it's
good
not
word.
just that people with access know that they're human beings. It's like we all know now that you're human beings. Like maybe I thought that people were in front of the mirror listening to sad music because you really didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
Like they did the exit meeting or the press conference to leave and they were out till the next October. Out.
Yeah.
You weren't running into anybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, everybody's pulled the curtain back. Like,
Yeah.
you get to see the operations easy now. Like, what goes through, like you said, man, we can see these dudes exit meetings, like,
Yeah.
like we like we reporters, you know. So
Well, the NFL has it down as science. Like, they market the league, right?
Yep.
And I think the NBA is more player bound, and people bring that back to Jordan and in this era, you, Bron, Steph, Giannis, all these personalities. Do you think it's better that way for the league?
I mean, yeah, I mean, our sport is more visible. The players are more visible, so it's harder, and we move around a little bit more, so it's kind of harder just to market straight teams. You know, I mean, and the fans are invested in the players. You know, they feel more of an attachment to the players in the NBA opposed to, you know, NFL. Obviously, because of the equipment that they have on, but there's a lot of stuff that factor into why we're covered the way we're covered. You know, as a league.
This was not our experience growing up. You Knicks and whoever's on the Knicks is my guy. Like, you think, I don't know if this is better or worse. Like, I think it's just, again, goes back to the reality of it. It's like, you come up with certain guys, and Mark Jackson goes to the Pacers, you probably still hoping Mark Jackson played well, right? You know, unless he played the Knicks. Or
yeah, bro. Are you kidding me? I was a down low Pacer fan, like heavy, so much so that that during those playoff runs, like I had to front a little bit certain games. Like, I always wanted to go to 7, and I would tell myself, like, whatever happens in 7, because there was like an era of the Knicks that I really, really like. That was it. And when they did trade Mark Jackson, it always went down like one notch for me. You know, there's like that one team that stands out for you when you're a kid and it carries that. And then from there, like, I was like, shit, Mark played for the Pacers, the Clippers, the Pacers again, Nuggets, Raptors, Jazz. I was loyal, bro. It was tough at the end, but
and
I
then
was
he starts
loyal.
coaching, and then it's like, yo, you're rocking with that too.
Yo, I was a big Warrior fan.
Yeah.
I was.
What was your experience? You had a team, you were Wizards guy? Like, what was your experience?
Nah, I got into the NBA around like 97, 98. And that was way more player driven.
Yeah.
And it was a younger league too. So like T-Mac, Vince, those guys was just coming in. Kobe, KG, you know, so I just liked the young movement in the league. I wasn't following the team more so than I was just trying to find highlights of players, you know. So pretty much like all the young dudes in the league around that time is who I was following.
So you started stan culture. This is all your fault.
Yeah, we can say that. That's because when I seen Vince Carter's his rookie year or maybe his second year, I was like, I need that jersey. When I seen AI, I was like, I need to go get that jersey. So it was like I was a fan of every team.
I feel like I remember Jason Williams just like tripped me out. Like, there's a guy, you can do this in the NBA. Yeah. Like, this is crazy. And he was hometown and T-Mac, and it was a lot of the same.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If Instagram was out when he was a rookie and a sophomore, his gram would have been insane. Because I still watch his YouTube clips 4 or 5 times a year. I'll set up for like 5-10 minutes and watch old Jason Williams highlights.
Yeah, that's one of those guys. Like, I showed my son, he didn't know this player existed. I'm like, look at this,
really?
look at this guy. Like,
I bet his mind was
that's
blown.
hilarious.
No, he couldn't. He was blown away by that shit. Like, and he was like, his style was fly. Like, he was.
I mean, then he wore number 55. That stood out.
Yeah,
I wore that number that year just because.
What's your favorite Jason Williams highlight? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a YouTube highlight. Maybe not moment, I want to say YouTube highlight.
The hezzy on Gary Payton.
Yeah.
Like insane.
Yeah. And
but the pass he threw in the sophomore game.
With the elbow. That's the one I was going with. That's the crazy shit.
That's so many.
He hit it with his elbow. That was incredible.
Yeah. That one with the elbow probably stood out the most because we was trying that every day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Hit your funny bone trying that shit.
Jason Williams definitely had made an impact on the community.
Yeah, he's one of those guys
when he came to the league.
How good was he?
He's just a solid point guard.
Yeah,
like
I'm trying to get
a solid starting point guard. in the league. Like
I wonder what his best stat year was. Probably like 16, 8, 9.
Something.
who would
like
you compare that to in the league?
Right now?
Like a Kyle Lowry, maybe? Like
Oh, like in terms of
the
like
quality or whatever.
Yeah, if you was just trying to show who and nobody, like your son, like if he never seen
what
Jason
level
Williams,
of player
like,
this
yeah,
guy is.
No, Kyle Lowry's better.
Yeah,
I think so. In terms of what you're saying, in
I'm
terms
just talking about that tier player.
yeah, the tier of the player in the league.
that tier, yeah.
Something right below All-Star.
Kyle Lowry.
Their numbers are probably similar at this point.
Jason Williams. Tim Hardaway. No, he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it's
but
probably
Kyle Lowry's
below.
going to make the Hall of Fame.
Really?
Will he? I don't know.
How many All Stars? Yeah,
4?
I think he got like 6. He might
6?
make the Hall of Fame.
And
Might
a
make
chip?
So my Hall of Fame criteria, like I really care about the totality, like total points.
Body
Yeah.
of work, all of it, yeah.
But which accolades actually matter to you, though?
All-Stars are cool. All NBAs. There's only so many spots for that.
Mhm.
Right? There's twice as many All-Star spots.
All stars are cool over because you what?
Like over 7, it's like,
Yeah,
all
if you
right.
got one. It's almost like, what's up with you?
Yeah,
man?
we've all had like Chris Kaman was in the All-Star game. You know what I mean?
2,
All
1
due
or
respect to Kaman's career, but like we're not going to the Hall of Fame. off
Jamal
that. McGlure.
McGlure made one.
Yeah.
So if you got 1, it's just like, all right, you had a good year, like that's cool. But if let's say if you had 4,
4 is like you talking about it. You telling people.
all
What's
right,
up, man? I made 4 All-Star games. What's up with you?
So if you're
That's a nice stretch in the league. Like
4
for 4
All-Star
years,
games?
I was one of the 20
That's what I'm
guys.
saying. Kyle Lowry, you said 6?
so let's say if you got like now, when are you one of those guys after what number?
I think 3.
No, you just said 4 was like
Did I? No, I thought you did. You not just say how many?
after 4. Like when is that number?
That makes you like
That guy, All-Star selections.
6 sounds like a real number out loud.
It does.
6-time All-Star.
Joe Johnson did like 11, not 11.
Did he? He might.
Look what Joe
He
Johnson
got
did.
quite a few. Is
I
Joe
would say
Johnson
7
Hall of Fame?
All-Star games put you in that Hall of Fame.
7. You can catch a good run in a
7
conference,
times,
though.
Joe Johnson.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you catch a conference over a period of time, and
Yeah.
then you consistently
The
get
right
in,
position.
Like
It's
Paul
like-
Millsap, he hit like 4 of them like that.
yeah.
I wonder
like-
if people know how to work their set with the coaches on the road. Like, yo,
After a while, like
Politicking for the
like
All-Star.
20 games
that
in,
reserve
The
now,
alternate
you know
joint, the
what I'm
reserve.
saying?
yo, 20 games in, this your first time averaging over 20 points. I'm really like, yo, coach,
Come
make
on.
sure you
You see what I'm doing out here?
yo, don't forget about me.
I feel like somebody like Jamal Crawford, right? I always feel like there should be a wing of the Hall of Fame or something. Like we have to acknowledge these,
That's a dope idea, bro. That's
like
a dope idea.
Jason Williams. Jason
Well,
Williams.
no, by
Like the
way,
Culture
it's
Hall
not
of
a wing.
Fame?
You could make a wing. It's that.
Yo,
It's
let's
their
do
own.
that.
Yep.
it's its own Hall of Fame. Right?
Yo,
Let's create it right now.
it's sure some buildings for sale.
But
Small
that would be
space.
ill, right?
Yes.
Like Baron
I
Davis
know
should
what
be.
you're
The Culture
talking
Hall
about.
of
Jason
Fame.
Williams.
Like Baron Davis was a cultural thing. Like that shit.
Yes. Yes.
Like Steve Francis.
You
Like,
remember
Yes.
the Hornets team with the headbands?
yes, like Fat
Yup.
Five, like that type
Yup.
of stuff.
Yo, everybody had headbands on that school.
That's
Like,
a
Yeah.
good idea.
it was a movement.
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
good idea.
That shit.
Pop up first. See if it sticks.
That shit matters.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, I was watching Paige Stojakovic highlights the other day.
Incredible shooter.
He made it.
Did he? I was
I
going
don't
to ask
know.
you.
He may.
He made Hall of
like,
Fame?
He,
How many
I'd
All-Star
say he
games
might
did he make?
off international play and things
You
like
might
that.
have to look that up.
He probably made 6 or 7 All-Star games.
He made a few.
That's a cool idea, though.
He was flat out sniper, and he
Sniper.
was 6'10".
3-time All-Star.
What? Caught a
He
bad
made All-NBA once.
caught a bad conference
He did.
But those are the type of players you'll look at and be like, yo, he had a Hall of Fame career.
and made how many did you say? 3?
3.
Yeah, that sounds real.
Incredible conference he played in. At wing, too. Like, look who he's dealing with.
Incredible
They
conference.
had a good team too.
And he had a great team. 17 points a game for his career.
Ooh.
But at his like, what were his numbers at like his best 3 years?
24 points, 6 rebounds, and obviously is one of the greatest shooters of all time in an era that they didn't
They didn't really shoot a lot of threes.
push that. Career 45% 3-point shooting,
That's
Wow,
ridiculous.
that's amazing.
which is insane.
What did he shoot from the field overall when he scored 24 points? Probably 53.
I say 47.
What year? This thing, Basketball
depends.
Reference is crazy. 48% from the field.
That's right. Yeah, 53 is
48%.
insane. For
40 minutes a night.
40? How
40.
many games played?
43% from 3. He played 81 games.
oh
See,
my
yo,
God.
like, come on.
That's an insane season.
But we talk about minutes too much, though.
Mhm.
That team won 55
Like, if somebody
games.
playing, like, a stretch of 30-plus minutes, it's like, yo, is this minutes too high? Like, yo, they was playing 40 a night, 80 games.
Yeah.
You think the game is too different now? Y'all move around a lot.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it is way faster, and it's a lot more jumping.
And
You ask
by the
guys
way,
to do more on defense.
and when did Peja hit the cliff?
I think
From
he had
those
some
40
injuries,
minutes
right?
a night in 81 games.
Yeah.
Because
You
it
might
was
have
a
point
cliff
there.
that he hit.
I mean, that was his highest ever, was that season. And then it goes from there, 20 points a game the next year.
Goes
So,
from there.
Maybe.
I love when you see a player's stats like 6, 10, 14, 17, 21, 24. You know, when you see
Yeah.
that his shit went like this, 24, 20. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it did. 24, 20, 18. He then gets traded. And that year was 18. 17, 16, 13, 12. And on and on.
You know what though? To your point about the like cultural Hall of Fame, or should the Hall of Fame change? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if
Is
you
it
really,
too easy to get in right now?
or no, or should it change in terms of like the Hall of Fame of basketball is like the criteria now in the last 30, 40 years have to involve some of that.
So if you
Does
write
that make sense to it? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have the stats. I'm not saying
So
like
essentially, you want to make it easier to get into the
that's a great question for you. You're headed there. You value this, obviously. A guy like Jamal Crawford, great player. We love him. Career's a few tiers down. Does that cheapen the Hall of Fame for you?
Well, Jamal Crawford has like a specific role
Mm-hmm.
in
So you
basketball.
go in with that understanding, though. Like, I know this was his career.
Yeah,
We
certain
still put him in.
guys you might have to take a different look at.
Mhm.
Like Jamal Crawford. Like, how many points does he have?
Can look it up.
But as a career totals, like, is it 20? It might be 19, maybe.
It might
no,
be close.
it's probably less, way less than that. I bet you it's way
No,
less
he
than
got.
that.
This is a long career. It's a 19-year career.
Damn. 16 points, I bet.
How many points a game? 14.6 points a game over a 19 career. That's nice. That's a
total
nice
points.
career. Total 19,419 points. See? That's a decent career.
That's a lot of points.
It's a lot
How
of
many?
points.
He probably got 3 6 man of the years.
Mm-hmm. Did he ever make an All-Star game?
No,
Oh,
3
no,
6
no.
Man of the Year's awards, though. Correct.
Good call. He never made one?
Never made an All-Star game.
20 points a game, one season. Never made All-Star game. For the Knicks, he had 20 points a game. He must have been the king of the town. He must have ran New York for that year.
I mean,
he was.
if you go through his career and give him an extra look, then you can say, oh, well, maybe, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have enough accolades as far as All NBAs, All Stars, awards like MVPs, but 19,000 points is a lot. 3 6 man of the years is a lot.
I'll tell you this though, Eddie. I'm 45. In 45 years from now, I'm sitting outside. Someone's like, "Who are the best basketball players of your era? Who was the best?
Mm-hmm.
Ace? Who?" No, I just made up an old friend. I'm gonna be like KD, Bron, Steph, Jamal Crawford,
Williams.
Jason Williams.
I'll be like this.
Yo, so like I think of it like if you're writing a book about basketball, Kevin's got a chapter, Bron's got a chapter, some chapters along some chapters. Jamal Crawford has a page. There's a page in there where we have to talk about what Jamal Crawford did.
Yeah.
And guys else, Jason Williams, like Page has a page.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever the shooter's chapter is, we got to talk about that
Peja,
fucking jump shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about 6 man role,
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Crawford was like the face of that for
Yep.
Baseball went through this
Vinny
with
Johnson. Like
He is. He's the face of that award.
in this generation. I mean, Vinny Johnson was the
Kevin McHale, Vinny
Kevin
Johnson.
McHale.
Yeah.
Those dudes, they set the tone back then. But
John
for our
Starks.
era, him and Lou Williams are like
Yep.
6 men.
J.R. Smith won a few.
J.R. Smith was more of a. He had that 1 year. I think he was starting more.
Yeah.
He had a
than
year,
those
I
dudes.
think
He had
he-
a couple years coming off, but like he was a starter in my opinion.
baseball went through this with Edgar Martinez. Remember this?
Of course.
The designated hitter,
Mm.
and they had their Hall of Fame had to take time to figure out like, do we value a person who only hits?
Yeah.
you know, and he got in. He eventually
I know
gets
exactly. It's like and relief pitchers.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was
Yeah.
like odd if they got in.
in. It was like two guys that got
Yeah.
in, two closers ever, and then they
Raleigh
they,
fingers.
Yeah, right. And it's like, what do these other guys? So I mean, I don't know. It's tough because it's supposed to be, like you said, the greatest players. We're putting the greatest players in.
Would you say our Hall of Fame is easy to get in? Easier than other
Then the NFL.
in
NFL is the
MLB?
hardest, I think.
Both of them are hard as shit. Yeah,
Oh,
you're like,
baseball's bad hard. You're
you're
right.
like 2-3 dudes in a year. How many
Yeah.
dudes get in a year?
You see some legends and you see them out like 5% vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Baseball's real tough.
Yeah. It's. I don't know if it's easy to get in the NBA. It does feel like, as a fan, like they have quota of sorts. Like, we got to get 10 guys and we have a 3-hour show. We got to fill. And so, I mean, like, we look at it's the Basketball Hall of Fame too, which is the way, because I
bigger
remember
than NBA.
people were complaining about Vlade, but Vlade has done transcended things for the game of basketball.
Yep.
You got to put him in. If you look at his NBA career, you go, all right, man.
See, that's what I'm not really rocking with.
Not hearing that.
Nah, because if you were like, it should be about what you accomplished as a player or a coach,
Mm-hmm.
or you know what I'm saying, executive.
Just
or
your
owner
impact on the
of
game
NBA,
of basketball,
you know,
which is, who should be in? Stephon Marbury.
yes,
Because he's
but
right.
It should be your NBA impact, WNBA impact, like you know. What I'm saying?
You're saying it shouldn't be about what you do outside of the game.
Yeah, nah, it shouldn't be.
All right,
in my
okay, I
opinion.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying because that confuses things like Sabonis. Remember Arvydas Sabonis? He played
Yeah,
like
that
he
shit-
got in because they said he was unstoppable.
That's
And-
cool, but then he get in the Hall of Fame over there. But like the NBA should have, it should be an NBA
So
Hall
we
of
need
Fame.
the NBA Hall of Fame.
What you did in the league.
100% agree with that.
But the ABA players are in there because it's the Naismith
Yeah, that too. I mean,
national
it should
bat.
be,
Yeah,
it
all right.
should be in there. Too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying like our league, it should be
WNBA,
strictly about what you
NBA,
do.
yep.
Yeah.
I wonder why. I'm sure there's like great reasoning somewhere that they established that there's not an NBA Hall of Fame, but I do wonder.
There probably
should
isn't
be an
by the
NBA
way.
Hall of Fame.
It's probably not great
There's
reason.
probably not great reason.
Why it's not an NBA Hall of Fame?
No, you probably. I mean,
It should be strictly NBA and not just basketball.
No, he's saying no. I agree with that. I'm saying he said there's probably some bigger something from another day, and I said there probably isn't. Like you probably could just buy the Hall of Fame if you really wanted. Like
it was incredibly short sighted to do it that way. It's like, I mean, maybe they didn't see what the NBA would be.
it's like when
Yeah.
Jay-Z raps about the Billboard list. It's like when you peel it back.
Who winning this year?
Winning what?
The Hall of
The
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Oh, I don't know. I do know that.
Like
Mark-
Manu got
Manu.
Now that's the guy you should look at and compare to Jamal Crawford.
It's a good one too, right? Because
He won.
Well, he won a couple All-Star
He
games.
gets
And he
in-
made All-Star games.
he
yeah.
gets in off
Did you say that?
Manu, Tim Hardaway, George Karl, Swin Cash.
Oh, nice.
He's an interesting. I mean,
I
he,
like that group.
Lindsey Whalen.
Mhm.
He's another one who fits into what we're talking about. Like, he won a gold medal for Argentina. Is the only gold medal.
But should that matter?
If it's basketball Hall of Fame,
Yeah, because Olympics are listed on the credentials and stuff, which is why I said Marbury. Because obviously, I think even Steph could agree that just NBA, it was tough. He left.
I mean, Marbury was 20-8, 8-time All-Star, All-NBA. A couple.
That's true.
So
Marbury's
Marbury,
stats were staggering.
I
he
think-
should be in.
This,
Right.
Like, as a fan, the type of shit that matters to me. He played in the greatest All-Star game of all time. and hit the biggest shot of the game.
Yeah.
Like that fucking matters to me.
Two
of them. He's going shootout with Kobe. Is that what it was? It was them on separate teams, right?
That was amazing.
That's nuts. That matters. That type of shit. Again, the book. That's a page in the book.
Yeah,
This fucking All-Star game was amazing.
Yeah.
And you know who was amazing in it? Stephon Marbury.
Stephon Marbury is one of those players that like is so revered by anybody that talks about it, especially in New York City. Like, but anybody in basketball that I talk to, like that reference players back in the day when they talk about Stephon, it's just like, yo, he had it all. He
unanimous,
did it all.
right?
Yeah.
Like throughout the league.
Like he was just really should be up there with the best ever.
Yeah, and he was like consummate New York point guard too, right? Crazy handle, could get it anywhere on the floor, fearless.
Yep. He
All
actually evolved it because, and it's I think Stephen A. Smith says it in the doc we have coming out. He was like the full package of New York City point guards. He could do everything.
He did it all.
Transcended the New York City point guard label.
I mean, he's
made
like
it to something different.
Is he the New York? He's like the one you think. I think for this era, for sure, this generation, like Bassie.
I mean, ever. I mean, who else?
Ever.
Who else?
I guess like in terms of who came out, and if you put their games up, like who's the best? Probably him.
He fits like
definitely him.
The definition you have in your head of New York point guard. It's like that mold.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that type of game that Steph played with, and that type of attitude.
But that is more. That's definitely like he was saying, like an evolution of it, because the ones I grew up on were like, oh, this, you know what I'm saying? Like back you down, can't really shoot, may have a awkward looking J, but talk a lot of shit. And then Marbury was like, I remember went to see this, it was called Golden Hoops.
Mm-hmm.
They did it up at Columbia, and it was like a mix of like most of the guys from Gauchos and St. Raymond's and a lot of the schools in the city. And it was like Felipe Lopez coming out, but Marbury stole the show, and like he would pull up, and his like vertical leap on his jump shot was insane. And that was new, you know, like, you know, point guards before that didn't really have much speed, or Kenny Smith, I guess. But
so how long has he been retired? Oh, it's a few years. Like he's got to be coming up. He should make the Hall of Fame. Like between what he did in the NBA, between what he did in high school, between his whole, and then in China, obviously.
China, yeah.
Like that's the kind of player.
Yes.
If we're saying basketball Hall of Fame, that guy. He said something about you the other day, like to kind of transition. The one-legged shot. I showed you this. He's never seen that on a basketball court. Like you're inventing shit. And then you told me, you've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not. So I had somebody find footage. I found footage of you doing it as a Warrior. You said you've been doing this since Thunder. It was like you dropped 340s in a week. Or you just saw it on the court. You was just ready.
I reminisce.